Hi everyone, here we are on part 3. Suzy and I want to give you our thoughts on some other things we can do to support our veterans, who may be suffering from military or combat trauma, and throughout this short video and others we refer to it as PTSD.
During part 2, Axel and I mentioned that we would cover other ways to look at when offering support to our veterans, such as encouraging treatment, providing stability and being patient. There were others, like avoiding comparisons, respecting emotions, helping with daily tasks and watching out for signs of crisis. We decided that we could not cover all of these in part 3, so for now, in this part, we will focus on encouraging treatment, providing stability and being patient. So, over to you, Axel.
Thank you, Suzy. So we are now going to focus on those 3 things you mentioned. Here is the first one, and this is encouraging treatment. Now, there are 2 main things that can truly help, and they are therapies and medicine. Traumatic events can be very difficult to come to terms with, but confronting your feelings and getting professional help is often the only way of effectively treating such things like PTSD. It's possible for PTSD to be successfully treated many years after the traumatic event or events occurred, which means it's never too late to get help.
Having treatment is the first step in the journey of recovery, and a detailed assessment of symptoms can be carried out. This is purely to ensure treatment is tailored to the individual needs. This is really important, and we want to encourage and empower this within our veterans community.
So how can we encourage treatment, Suzy? Imagine this. I am just a veteran that is part of the Safe Space Network at our Veterans Breakfast. And how can I encourage and empower a veteran to seek treatment? I may have never had to do this before, but want to help.
I think listening to them and understand their fear about reaching out. Talk to them about the benefits, and encourage them that it is never too late to get support and help. This is their first step to recovery. And reassure them that you will always be there if needed. We need to empower them to believe that they are not alone, and will always be supported.
I agree, Suzy. We should encourage treatment and highlight the benefits of this. Those things you mentioned, such as listening, understanding, and talk to them about the benefits in an empathetic way will encourage and empower them to seek this support.
So Axel, let's talk about how we can provide stability for those who need our support. You and I know this is a challenging but rewarding task. We can help our network of veterans by being supportive, understanding, and patient. So Axel explained some tips on how to provide stability for those showing signs of trauma.
Thank you, Suzy. So, when we talk about providing stability and how we can support this, here are some things to consider. Those veterans may feel isolated, ashamed, or misunderstood. They may also avoid people or situations that remind them of the trauma. You can help them by being there, listening to them, and respecting their boundaries. Don't pressure them to talk about the trauma if they don't want to, but let them know you're willing to listen when they're ready. You can also encourage them to join a support group or seek professional help. This is a great way in providing stability. A safe space will always provide this to our veterans.
Okie dokie, Axel, let's talk about being patient with those who have PTSD symptoms and need our support. This is very important, and a compassionate thing to do. PTSD is a mental health condition that develops after a person experiences or witnesses a traumatic event, such as violence, abuse, war, and so many more scenarios. People with PTSD may have symptoms such as flashbacks, nightmares, anxiety, anger, guilt, or avoidance of anything that reminds them of the trauma. These symptoms can interfere with their daily life and relationships, and make them feel isolated and hopeless.
Being patient is a very important thing to do with our veterans, and is a very empathetic act. Here are some tips on how to be patient with PTSD sufferers, such as listen to them and give them time to talk at their own pace. It is important not to pressure them. Also, allow them to be upset about what has happened, allow them to get things off their chest, and this takes patience.
Now, if you've not experienced PTSD yourself, it can be hard to understand why those suffering can't seem to move on. So, learn their triggers, the things that make them relive the traumatic event. Each veteran will have a different experience of PTSD, so it might help to talk about what sort of situations or conversations may trigger flashbacks or difficult feelings.
If you, or someone you know has PTSD, Here are some tips on how to be patient with the symptoms. Understand that PTSD is not a sign of weakness or a personal flaw. It is a normal and natural response to an abnormal and unnatural situation. Also, Suzy, it is not something that can be easily controlled or overcome by willpower alone. We can recognize that healing from trauma takes time and effort. There is no quick fix or one-size-fits-all solution for PTSD. Each person's recovery process is different and depends on many factors, such as the type and severity of the trauma, the availability of support, and the coping skills they have.
So, we should respect the person's pace and preferences. Don't pressure them to talk about the trauma if they are not ready, but let them know you are willing to listen when they are. This is being patient, and such a valuable part of offering support.
Thank you, Suzy. Hopefully, this part of our series of short videos helps both those who might be suffering through military or combat trauma, and help others understand a few things that may provide some guidance to assist them supporting our veterans. You and I know that just being there, even in a small way, will make such a difference.
So, we both have expressed our ideas on how we can support those suffering through military or combat trauma. This part mentioned some ideas, such as encouraging treatment, providing stability, and being patient. I hope our audience can see why we are doing this.
Hey Suzy, I think our network of veterans have such a varied range of skills that I just know we can all make a difference no matter how small, and we can look forward to chatting to our network around other support needs, and how best we can move this forward.
I agree. We have covered 3 things today in this short video, but you and I have so much more to share on this topic, and I hope our network of veterans will continue to watch these, and hopefully learn some ideas and also offer some additional thoughts which may help us on this journey.
Suzy, you and I have covered a few tips today on how best to offer support, or things to consider, when supporting our community, and I am sure that our Veterans Network can offer loads more.
Axel, you and I can sit down and chat about other things that we didn't have time to explore today, but remember we have our Veterans Breakfast next week at Brantham. This is a great opportunity to express our vision, the one that Jamie and Sharon wanted to achieve. The Veterans Breakfast is the best safe space and environment for our group of veterans and an opportunity to help those that may need support.
Totally agree, Suzy. Let us get together and discuss those other topics like avoiding comparisons, respecting emotions, helping with daily tasks, and watching out for signs of crisis in our next episode of these short videos.
So, thank you for watching this short video. Axel and I will continue to bounce ideas off each other. We will talk to other veterans. We will build up a picture of what is required, but most importantly we want to offer our support and assistance to those that need it. Also, I want to ask this: if you have some case studies you would like to share with us, then please do. This could include your own experiences, or those of others. Remember, we want to build a network of support. Thank you for watching, and we hope you tune into our next video.